Hi there, my name is Richard McMunn from the interview training company passmyinterview.com, and in this tutorial I will teach you how to pass a cashier interview. So it does not matter which organisation, store, shop, bank you have your cashier interview with. Please do make sure you watch this tutorial fully from beginning to end, because I will help you to be the standout candidate, and to achieve that goal, this is what I will cover. I will give you a full list of cashier interview questions that I recommend you prepare for. I will give you suggested answers to help you pass your cashier interview, and these are top scoring answers. I will tell you the qualities that you really need to demonstrate throughout your cashier interview, and I will also tell you about further resources you can get access to help you succeed. So 4 great reasons why you should stick around and watch this tutorial from beginning to end. Before I get into those cashier interview questions and answers, a very warm welcome to this presentation. My name is Richard McMunn. That's me there in the centre of the screen. I've been helping people for over 20 years now to pass their interviews, and I always do that by giving you top scoring answers you cannot find anywhere else. On that basis, please make sure you subscribe to the channel by clicking the red button below the video, and then you won't miss out on any of the weekly training videos I upload. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn if you want to. My LinkedIn link is in the description below the video, and it's always great to connect with like-minded professionals such as yourself. Please also make sure you give the video a like, because that then tells me you enjoy the content, and I will therefore spend more time creating it for you. Let's now get into those cashier interview tips, the questions and the answers. The first one is, tell me about yourself and why you want to become a cashier. Now, this is guaranteed to be the first cashier interview question that you will get asked. So it's imperative we give them a positive, skills-based answer that shows that you can really add value to their business. So here's my suggested answer. I am reliable, honest, trustworthy, and hardworking, and I am the type of person who enjoys working in customer-facing roles. I am also someone who is flexible and adaptable, and I can work the hours necessary. I will also be available to cover shifts at short notice as and when the need arises. If you hire me as your cashier, I will learn the role quickly, and you can also rely on me to carry out my duties with professionalism, diligence, and accuracy. I understand that for your business to be successful, I will need to serve your customers with a friendly and welcoming manner, and also deal with any customer issues promptly and efficiently. So that's a great answer that sets you up for the remainder of your cashier interview with confidence. Now, you can either pause the video and take a note of the answers that I give you as I progress, or if you want to wait, I will tell you where you can download my full set of 24 cashier interview questions and top scoring answers. The second interview question that I want you to prepare for is, why do you want to work for us as a cashier? Now, when preparing your answer to this cashier interview question, I recommend you give the hiring manager 3 reasons why you want to work for them, based on, number 1, their locality, number 2, their strong reputation within the local community, and number 3, their great customer service standards and the quality of their products and services. So let's have a look at a brilliant answer to that interview question. Why do you want to work for us as a cashier? I'd like to work for you for 3 reasons. Firstly, the fact you are local to me is appealing, and this also means I will be able to cover quickly at short notice if you need me to. Secondly, you are well thought of within the local community, and this means I will get more job satisfaction from the role whilst serving your customers. Finally, I have used your store before, and the products you sell are of a very high standard. Now, because you sell good quality products, it means my role will be more enjoyable as a cashier, and I will be able to continually provide great customer service. I like that answer because you are giving 3 well thought of answers to why you want to work for their business. The next cashier interview question we need to prepare for is, tell me a time when you went above and beyond for someone. Now, they may say to you, tell me a time when you went above and beyond for a customer. Either way, this is a behavioural type interview question, and it requires you to provide a specific situation you've previously been in. My advice is to use the STAR technique when responding to this cashier interview question. So the STAR technique is a brilliant format that will ensure you give a top scoring answer. So you start off with your response and you tell the interviewer the situation you were faced with. You then move on and tell the hiring manager the task that needed to be done. You then go into detail about the action you took, and then you finish off and tell them the results following your actions. So the STAR technique is situation, task, action, result. Let's now take a look at it. When responding to the interview question, tell me a time when you went above and beyond for someone. Here we go. In my previous job, it was late on a Friday afternoon, and the stock delivery that was due to arrive at 2 p.m. had still not turned up. My supervisor asked for volunteers to stay behind late that afternoon to help take delivery of the goods and also carry out a stock check. Although I had plans for that evening already, I knew how important it was to help out the business, and I felt it was my responsibility to go above and beyond what was expected from my supervisor. I agreed to stay behind after work with one other team member. The delivery was actually 2 hours late in the end, and it didn't arrive until 7 p.m. However, when it did arrive, we took stock of the delivery, cross-checked it carefully, and made sure all of the goods were exactly what was ordered. We finally finished the task at 8:30 p.m. to the satisfaction of my supervisor, and she thanked us both for our hard work and commitment. Now you will see how effective the STAR technique is when responding to behavioural type interview questions, and that's a brilliant example of going above and beyond what is expected for somebody. So please don't go anywhere, because I've still got another few cashier interview questions to work through, including top scoring answers. But when you're ready, if you want to click that link in the top right hand corner of the video, it takes you through to my website passmyinterview.com, where you can download my full set of 24 cashier interview questions and top scoring answers. However, before you do that, let's take a look at the next question. What are the 5 most important skills and qualities of a cashier? Now, this cashier interview question is rather cleverly assessing whether or not you have read the job description. Now, although you need lots of different skills and qualities to be a cashier, the following 5 are the most important. Here we go. Customer service is one of the most important skills needed. You need customer service skills because the only way a business will not just survive but also thrive is by encouraging repeat custom. If a customer feels valued and they receive consistent great service, they will come back to that business time and time again. You also need a positive and cheery attitude. Smiling and being positive whilst going about your duties is infectious on both customers and your work colleagues. Now, by being positive, the workplace will be a happier place to be, and the customers will also feed off your positive energy too. You also need a flexible and adaptable approach to your work. Now, on occasions, your manager or supervisor will need you to come into work additional hours, and you may also need to stay behind late to help out when needed. You must also be trustworthy, reliable, and honest at all times, because not only are you handling money and taking payments, but your employer must also have the confidence you are someone who will turn up to work on time and act with integrity and professionalism whilst you are there. Finally, you need dispute resolution skills. On occasions, you will have to deal with customer complaints and refunds, and you have to deal with these in line with company guidelines. So the majority of candidates will just give off the top of their head the 5 most important skills and qualities they think are needed for a cashier. But what I like about that answer is you are giving the specific skill or quality, and you are then explaining why it is so important. And that will help to make you the standout candidate. So the next cashier interview question is, talk me through the steps you would follow when dealing with an unhappy customer. So whilst this is a challenging cashier interview question to answer, if you follow my suggested step-by-step process for dealing with customer complaints as a cashier, you will score highly, and here it is. First and foremost, I would follow my training in regard to the complaints procedure the company or business has in place. At all times, while speaking to the customer, I would be polite and I would start off by listening carefully to their complaint or problem. I would then ask them a number of questions to make sure I have all of the information needed to deal with the complaint properly. I would apologise if the company or business were at fault before suggesting a resolution to their complaint, which may include replacement products or goods, or even perhaps a refund being issued. I would then confirm with the customer that they were satisfied with my proposed solution before apologising once again for any inconvenience that has been caused. Finally, I would look for ways to make sure the complaint or problem did not happen again. That's a brilliant answer because you are following a logical step-by-step process for dealing with complaints or unhappy customers, and you are also mentioning which is important that you would follow your training at all times. Now, please do now click that link in the top right-hand corner of the video. It will take you through to this website here, passmyinterview.com, which is a website I set up to help people pass their interviews with flying colours. Now, I have listed 24 cashier interview questions there. Some of them will come up during your interview, and if you want to download the full set, you can do on that page. I have also provided you with 5 tips for helping you successfully pass your cashier interview. Please do make sure you read those because they are important, and I've also given you a number of questions that you can ask at the end of your cashier interview. Like I say, I think it's really important if you can download the answers because they will help you to be the standout candidate. Thank you very much for watching this tutorial. I hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe and also hit the like button. I appreciate your support. Thank you very much. Have a brilliant day and I wish you all the best for passing your cashier interview. Thank you very much.